everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Kinky Politics. I am your host, Kai, and we are here today with my husband and the executive producer of Kinky Politics, and that is Kirk Carrington Hastings. Kirk, thanks for being here.
Hello, thanks for having me. It's great to be here
and
live with Kai.
Yeah, and we're doing it today from our home, our living room. Regrettably, Jordan couldn't be with us. There was a fire near his place. Obviously, I'm sure some of you have heard about it in Northern California. And
Jordan, thinking about you, buddy.
Always. And so, yeah. So anyway, today's episode is all about the controversy surrounding a new practice within children's sports, and that is everybody gets a medal for participation. What are your thoughts on that, considering we've just been watching the Olympics?
Can't get enough of it.
Can't get enough.
Yep, loving the Olympics.
And Kirk is obviously a sportsman, coming from a very athletic background and having been teaching tennis for a number of years, owning tennis academies and things like this. And considering your, his competitive level, and background in a wide range of sports, I could go on about all the sports Kirk plays. What are your thoughts on participation trophies?
Yeah, it's a really interesting.
By the way, everyone get a glass of wine. Sorry to interrupt, because it's a serious topic.
Yeah, hold on a moment. Get that glass of wine.
Okay. Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Get it out, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Now I've had the fuel and sustenance ready for this discussion. It's really interesting where we're at with that, because growing up, I remember getting participation certificates.
Ribbons, right? I got a ribbon, a participation ribbon.
Ribbon? Wow,
not a medal, but a ribbon.
That's it. That's pretty impressive. When I was growing up, participation would just be certificates, would just be like on a piece of paper, like printed.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
you'd literally just throw them
in the garbage.
As soon as you got it. I don't know anyone that held on to one of those things.
Yeah.
And it was usually participating in, not generally, well, sometimes sport, maybe, yeah, sometimes an event. Yeah, you'd get a participation thing for an event. But mainly just sort of some activity, something that you did together with your class or school, a participation thing. And like I just throw them. I wasn't interested, but that's sort of like maybe other kids were interested in that. But from my point of view, because I was like really into sport, I just couldn't care. I couldn't understand. I just throw them out and just like, what is that about? But I see that more and more now that those participation things are weighted more and more, and it's not so much the participation certificate or medal or ribbon. It's that I'm hearing now from parents that it's
because you coach a lot of children.
Because I coached a lot of children and I coach a lot of adults and they have kids.
Right.
And they're telling me that in their sports now at school and in their club sports and everything, up to a certain age, under 10s and even I think 12s, but up under 10s, they don't even score the goals. Like say in soccer, they don't even score. So they play and they get all in their jerseys and they play, and you don't even know who won or lost. There's everyone's a winner. That's the thing. And there's a lot of sports like that now where they don't score, or everyone, they do score, but still everyone gets a medal for participating, basically, or everyone's a winner. And I find that really interesting, because that definitely didn't happen when I was playing sport.
It didn't. Yeah, you're right. I think like many of us, obviously from the States, will remember a ribbon or a piece of paper, like Kirk, you're saying. I do remember getting ribbons, and to be honest, I never liked it either. I always felt like, can't wait to throw this in the trash. Because I always knew deep down in my heart how well I did.
Yeah.
And I always knew what the score was,
Yeah, like totally.
So it felt like, not a lie, but it felt like someone just felt bad for me. And so, I ended up not really playing sports competitively, because who wants a participation ribbon or certificate? But I take, obviously this is a real thing because there are people and kids who want it, and lots of psychologists who claim that participation trophies and medals and certificates and ribbons and things like that are actually helpful for kids' morale, and they encourage it. There are lots of studies of psychologists who say there are like real tangible benefits for children who are getting these participation.
Really?
Yeah, because it encourages morale, and it also makes them try harder in a lot of cases. Like, it didn't for me.
Wow.
I quit, I was like, well, I guess I'm not good at this, But on the flip side, I guess they're seeing more and more positive results from children who get participation affirmation.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought that was, I didn't know there was sort of like some numerical or quantitative data that backed that up. But I knew that one reason why that they're going down, schools and sports organizations are going down this path of like everyone's a winner and not scoring in games at an early age, is that they're trying to reduce the negative impact of parents pushing their kids at an early age, because that is a problem. And me, from growing up, I did see that as a problem. Parents were nutcases. Well, not all, but there was a lot of parents who are absolutely nutcases on their kids. And over a soccer game, cricket match, football game, anything, tennis match, and they really force their kids, like child abuse, like really, really abuse their kids mentally and physically, and publicly humiliated them. And I think they're trying to reduce that. I think that one side of it, not all of it, I think one side of it, a big side of it, is that they want to sort of minimize the negative side effects of what parents can do to their kids with that, which I get.
Wow, so they're doing it for the parents.
Well, for the kids.
But for the parents.
But but for the parents to calm down. Yeah, because parents just get so, come on, win. You gotta be a winner.
I've said this before. I can see now as an adult how much my parents saw me as, or saw their kid, or saw my brothers or my sister as an extension of themselves. And I can see how much parents can self-identify in their kids and also deeply empathize when they fail, at something. And when to see your child upset about losing something or not doing well in an area, as a parent, you're like, I remember my parents trying to console me over things that I thought I failed at, or getting participation, things, and being like medals or certificates, and being like, it's okay, or I've told you before, I played volleyball in private school, and all I ever wanted was to get in and play. And this coach of the volleyball team would never put me in because I wasn't good. I was not good. And every time I would be out there, I would lose. I would lose for the team. And I would come back upset, and I'd be telling my parents, I'd be like, all I'm going to do is play. If I could just be given a chance, And one day my dad lost it. He said, that's it. I'm calling the coach. I've had enough of this. I'm calling the coach. And he called the coach and he said, children are supposed to be given a shot. This is the time when they learn. And it was true. This is the time when they learn, and learning is fundamental. And I understand we're playing competitively, but she needs to be put in. And they put me in for the one game, and I scored 9 points. And then after that, I lost. I kept losing for the team. I mean, I brought us down, and I never played volleyball again after that. But my dad was so pissed at how upset I was that the volleyball coach was like, yeah, I understand. That makes a lot of sense. And, we weren't putting her in because, we felt she did better at rehearsals or practice, and my dad was like, I don't give up. He didn't cuss, but he was like, I don't care if she did better at practice. Put her in the damn team, let her play. Mm-hmm. Should they have? Debatable, but I could see both sides of it.
But yeah, like they should have and shouldn't have.
Right.
And there's positives and negatives with everything of that. And your dad, and you said like parents feeling the triumphs and the failures of their kids is real.
So real.
Because you're excited and happy when your kid's happy. You're obviously upset when your kid's upset.
Yeah.
But isn't that part of growth?
It is.
Like as a kid, don't you have to experience failure to then succeed?
Yeah.
Don't you have to try at something and fail and get the lessons from that to actually be good at stuff? Like, this is the problem I'm having with it, because if every kid just thinks that it's just apathy. It's just like this like standoffish approach to everything then in life. Mm-hmm. It's okay. This coddling and just everything. I'm okay. That's all right. No, I'll try a little bit. I don't want to try too hard because things should come pretty easy. And this in this sort of like mindset of just mediocre, and this mindset of not just mediocre as in like results, but like this energy level and like happiness also of like mediocre. I'm not depressed, but I'm also not happy.
Right.
I'm just like okay, barely. And I think you learn those lessons young of like, I tried really, really hard. Oh, I am so heartbroken that I didn't get what I want, because you can't always get what you want in life. But it's the fact that you tried really, really hard and didn't get it, and get up again and try really, really hard again, which then sets you up in life to actually be successful in life, but also enjoy life. Because without pleasure, there is no pain. Without pain, there is no pleasure. It's a trade-off. So otherwise you're stuck in this mediocre zone and this happiness zone of just mediocre, I feel. So it's important, and it's tough to see your kids get upset and be really hurt, but it's actually good for them if done in the right way. Of course, like there's, if there's some positivity and encouragement and right supportive structure around that, that's essentially what's going to be great for their growth and happiness, I feel. So
I think what a lot of people are saying, especially people who are leading the research in these participation affirmations, is what I like to call them, is that kids are less, I think what they're finding is they're more likely to try again because they've received the encouragement of it's okay. And so they are more, they're encouraged to then pick themselves up and try for better. But my other gripe with it is, what about the winners? How do the winners feel about, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
About participation medals and certificates. Because if I blood, sweat, and tears any skill where I've developed, learned it, if I've developed and honed a skill and it's taken me a long time to get to where I need to get, or I just have incredible ability, to see someone next to me get something just because they were present, is a little insulting to how much work I've put in.
And to have your performance
be shadowed,
lessened.
Yeah.
Like no. say a kids there, like, and you score 10 goals, and they're like, oh, well, it's me being on the field was pretty much the same as you scoring the 10 goals.
Well, not the same, but it's like, it's just put it down a little bit. It kind of reminds me
scoring.
Little bit of what is happening currently with people like Simone Biles, in that she's not scored correctly for the difficult things she can do. And I know that this is a separate issue, but of course she cited mental health being one of the primary reason why she didn't want to compete in this Tokyo Olympics for one of her divisions. But I can't help but feel that part of the reason for her mental health issue is that she's limited in her ability to perform all of her work to the highest degree, because she won't be accurately scored next to the next person because they can't do what she can do, which just feels like part of this participation thing.
Yeah.
Rules are meant to be broken. And we have people who excel in the sport, in the game, and whatever it is that they do to show us that rules can be broken, or that time can be exceeded, or greatness can be, continued, and it keeps getting higher and higher and better and more complicated. And now it feels like we're like, wait a minute. The average is something to be considered and looked at, which I think it is, but
it's also like with that, there's a bit of a factor with the Simone Biles thing. It's not really sort of like, I feel like it's not, they're worried about the other athletes and like, oh, the other athletes. It's a business. So it's about, they've got to make money at the end of the day with all these meets that they do and that. And if it's a foregone conclusion that the event is won by an athlete, no one's going to turn up to watch it. No one's going to pay because Simone Biles is going to win by a landslide. So they're like, well, if no one watches it, no one does this, we're all out of a job. We can't sustain it. So we've got to make it competitive so people care about it. Right. Because at the moment it's not competitive because it's so far ahead. So for me, it's sort of, that's more of a business decision for the benefit of the sport, so people care about it. Yeah. Because otherwise it's like, well, just take the medal, take it, just take like, first place.
What's the reason to compete?
Correct. Because she's so far ahead. So to me, it's like, that's the view. Because if I was running the sport, I'd be like, she's killing us because no one's viewing it. Right. And I can't get sponsors in. I can't get anything because everyone knows she's going to win. Right. There's no interest in it. There's no competitiveness. She doesn't have people want a duel. People love to see two champions battle it out, and they sort of make one a villain and one a good guy, like in tennis, Novak Djokovic, Roger Federer, like Djokovic, the bad, the good, and people care about that. Right. But if you've just got the good and no one to compete, no one cares. They stop watching, and I feel that's a big part of it. So if she just had one person one competitor who could do the things that she could do or close, they would score her accordingly.
You know, it was funny to me. It was funny because there's a little, she was speaking to an interviewer about it, and she said, I'm almost 99% sure that if it were anybody else, they would give them credit for the scores that they get. But because it's me and I always win, people don't like the fact that I always win. And that really, I felt so sad for her because I could see the box of, I could see like how she's trapped in her own talent. You know, you can't, it's like, you're great, stop being great. Just have the limit of, you know, and it's like, why box
It's just human nature too. Yeah. Like that's what she said is so true, but that's a personal point of view. But on the larger sense, like I said, it affects the business and the brand. But even if it wasn't about money, that would still happen. Like say for me as a kid in cricket, they would say seriously stop me saying you can't hit any more fours.
Right.
You can't. You have to play defense. Right. You have to. It's called like playing with a straight bat. I'm like, I never played with a straight bat because the bowlers weren't good enough for me to warrant playing with a straight bat because I could hit everything to the boundary.
There he goes.
On anything. And so people would just get sick of it, of me just, and it wouldn't be a game. And so they're like, well, you can't do that anymore because it's not a game. And I'd be like, what are you know, so they were trying to bring me down. In soccer, it was the same thing. They put me from forward all the way to, because I'd score so many goals, 10 goals a game. And then now you've got to play centre half. You can't be forward. I'll still score all the goals. Well, now you've got to play fullback. I'll still score goals. And then I got to a point where the coach said to me, if you score a goal,
we're gonna take you out.
I'll demerit you points for player of the season because I'd win best player of the season all the time. He seriously said to me, I will, if you score a goal, this is a coach of a team to his own player going, if you score a goal, I will demerit points for you for player of the year. It's like, I think, what? Yeah. What? I still scored a goal from halfway.
Right. Wow.
Like just because I'm like, I don't care. You know what I mean? But that's human nature because it's like once you get too good, they want to bring you down. Right. So it is that side with Simone Biles, but because it's a business,
you can also understand.
They sort of care more of it that they want people to watch. I get that side of it.
And on that note, we could obviously, talk about this forever. We'd love to hear what you think and what your thoughts about participation medals and certificates are. Have a think and let us know. And if you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. And Kirk, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having me. It's been lovely.
And we will see you next time.
Oh my God, orange is not my new black.